Hi, friends. Welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. I'm Juno, and this is not a Pick a Card Tarot reading. I always do that on this one. Welcome back to our weekly tarot check-in. So we're going to dive straight into all of the zodiac signs first, and then we'll do a collective reading. And then if we have some time, I will open up the floor to any personal readings. Before we get started, though, I just want to announce that we are celebrating 1,500 subscribers here on Juno Drome Intuitive Arts. So thank you to everybody who subscribed so far. If you're new, please consider subscribing. As a thank you to this, I am giving away a free personal reading, a free in-depth personal reading, actually 2 free personal in-depth readings from me. So you can enter to win 1 free personal reading from me. You can go onto my website, junodrome.com, to find it, or you can scroll down to the description section of this video. In the description, there will be a link to where the giveaway is. So go ahead and click that to win a free personal reading, in-depth personal reading from me as a thank you to all of our new subscribers. Without further ado, we're going to dive straight into the signs, starting with Aries. So what can my Aries expect this week? Aries, what can Aries expect? One more card for Aries, please. One more card for Aries. There it is. Okay, so Aries, we've got the 2 of Swords. So Aries, something about this week is you working on making a decision. So you're going to be faced with 2 options this week and 2 different pathways to move forward. And it might be a little bit confusing on how to move. Let's look at the other 2 cards to see what your 2 pathways are. On the one hand, you're going to be asked to continue to move in a direction towards your stability, towards life, towards manifestation, towards bringing something into your life. Now, the thing about this card is usually it's a pretty slow movement when it comes to the material world towards the stability. So you might be, on the one hand, be deciding to continue to put in work in a certain area, and it might take a while. It might be a continuation of previous work that's been happening for a long time. There might be a situation this week where you need to continue to do that. On the other hand, you're being asked to take a look at the traditional situations that you've been through in the past. With the Hierophant, it's sort of like looking at how the world runs and how it's run for a long time. So you're tapping into ancient wisdom in some aspect. So this decision, I think, is a little bit of you're juggling between the decision to continue to do what you know you need to do for yourself versus the needs of the community, maybe the needs of society. So this week might be a juggle between those two aspects. And so as you continue to balance that, just know that you can keep listening to your heart, that you can make the choices you need to make for yourself and feel comfortable and confident with that. And know that whatever external obligations you might have from society this week that might be pushing you in a certain direction, just know that you can work towards your goals as well. You can try to make them both work if you need to. So anyway, Aries, I hope you have an excellent week ahead. We're going to move on now to Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. So Taurus, what can my Taurus expect this week? What can my Taurus expect this week? Okay, that one I want to come to. Okay, Taurus. Taurus, you've got the 10 of Cups. So this is like ultimate fulfillment, happiness coming to you this week, which is excellent. This is also, sometimes it can be a family card because sometimes it's depicted as a whole family. So this week might be finding happy moments with your loved ones, with your family, with those in your life who you cherish. This could be a great week for reminding the people that you care about why you care about them, and remembering that we can find happiness with those that we love and that we don't necessarily need any material gains for happiness. This card doesn't always, it means ultimate emotional fulfillment. It doesn't always mean money though, right? We can be completely emotionally fulfilled without necessarily having to be super wealthy, right? Happiness can be given to all of us. All of us can find it in our lives. So you've got this encouragement to find what makes you happy and make sure that you cherish that and tune into that this week. Also, with the Queen of Swords, there's a bit of a analytical thinking going on here too, and maybe cutting away anything that's not serving you, any situation that doesn't seem to be working out for you right now. This could be a good moment for you to back away from certain things that aren't necessarily something that you want for yourself. This could be another good moment to tune into your own analytical thinking, clear-headed thinking. So as you cherish those that you love, it could be a great moment to clean away any kind of thought process that's keeping you from understanding what happiness even means. That there could be some negative self-talk or thought processes, thought patterns going on that you can start to let go of a little bit with this clear-headed thinking, to really tap into that happiness energy, to realize that you do have really wonderful things here for you this week. Finally, with this Knight of Swords, yeah, the movement that's happening here is also in the swords, which is the mind, the analytical changing of thinking, movement towards thoughts. So be careful with your thoughts this week, Taurus, and understand that happiness can be found at any moment and in any place. And so you don't let your thoughts discourage you from feeling happiness and joy in certain aspects and certain areas, because you can tap into that energy regardless of what's going on in the mind. Anyway, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I hope that that's helpful, and I hope you have an excellent week ahead. We're going to move on now to Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What can my Geminis expect this week? Ooh, all right, you get 4, Gemini. Okay, Gemini, first card that came out was the Page of Pentacles. So, Gemini, you're having a new start and a new beginning in the material world, in the physical. So, this could be money. A lot of times, Pentacles talk about money, but they can also be health, the body, all of that kind of thing. The home. This is a great week for you to think about things a little bit differently when it comes to your physical environment. Maybe this is a great time to change things up, to move your room around, to clean up your spaces, to go on a trip, to do some kind of journeying. It's something new. So you're kind of learning how to do things differently. You're learning how to set up your life a little bit differently. So maybe this week is a great time to move in some kind of direction that is different in the physical world. Now you have the Homecoming card here, which is an excellent card. I love this one, the 4 of Wands. So you're really kind of coming back home to yourself. And I think with these two together, it could be an encouragement to really focus on the home environment this week. So for my Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, what is going on in your home space? And what can you do to further facilitate that space in a way where it's aiding you and helping you in your life and not hindering you? So what changes can you make in your physical space and your surroundings to help you gain a better sense of comfort and stability in what you're doing? Now, you have the 6 of Swords, which can talk about moving from a challenging environment to calmer waters. So especially with that Homecoming card and changing of environment, I do think that there's a potential for my Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising to be walking away from any kind of situation in the physical world that has been challenging and moving into a more balanced, more calm environment this week. And so I just think the energies are moving you in a calmer direction. And so it's up to you to kind of really channel into that, but I think you can. And I think you can really tune into that. Finally, we have the Temperance card, which is talking about really balancing forces, juggling between the needs of yourself, the needs of others, and really kind of mixing the forces that are in your life that seemingly don't work together, and creating something new out of them. So if you get faced with any kind of challenges this week, Gemini, just know that you can make lemonade out of those challenges, right? So what can you do to change your perspective in such a way that you can make things a little bit easier, a little bit better for yourself, and realize that it doesn't have to be a challenge, right? Okay, Kristen, I just saw your message here. I wanted to have a nice time with family, be cozy. Thinking about cutting out some things. Great. I'm so happy that the Taurus message really resonated with you. Be sure to check out your rising signs and your sun signs as well. Oh, Taurus was your rising. Sorry, your sun and moon signs. So we're going to move on now to Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. So Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. What can you expect this week? Okay, so my Cancers, you got the Tower. So this is a bit of a Tower moment coming for you. So there's some changes happening for you in your life this week, Cancer, that are coming from the external. Now, the Tower sometimes seems like a scary card. It isn't always. Usually it just means that there are big changes that need to happen in your life, and if you don't necessarily be the one to, if you are not the one to push those changes into your life, sometimes the universe just kind of moves things around and makes it happen, and that movement can sometimes feel a little bit chaotic. So if anything's going on in your life that's making you feel a little bit unstable or a little bit chaotic this week, just hang in there. Hang in there. This is an opportunity, right? Every new beginning is an opportunity. Every change is an opportunity. And it might seem a little bit scary at first, but you can stabilize yourself and sail in the direction where you can make things feel a little bit easier on yourself, and they don't have to be as chaotic as you think they are, right? So just what are some markers and things you can find to stabilize? With that Eight of Pentacles, though, this is sustained work. This is putting in a lot of work in a lot of areas and continuing to put in that action and hard work over and over and over again. So you've been putting in a lot of work in certain areas, and that work is about to pay off. So if things are feeling a little bit like wobbly in your life, you can use this work that you've been doing to help stabilize you. That your work itself, even just your job in general, maybe can help you stabilize you and make you feel a little bit more like you have a stable footing in this week. So if anything's happening on the external, maybe really doubling down in the work that you put in a certain area can help you feel better, help you feel more aligned, and feel as though you can be in that kind of more stable position. So putting in more work in a certain place might help you feel more stable this week. Finally, the Knight of Wands means there's movement happening in the Wands area, which is passion. So you're really tuning into your passions. Hi Elle, welcome, welcome. We're doing the zodiac readings right now, the horoscope signs. After that, I'll be opening the floor to personal readings if you want one. So stick around for that. But anyway, this is Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to continue. Cancer, with that Knight of Wands, this is an excellent moment for you to channel any kind of energy that you have towards your dreams, towards your passions. Keep putting in the work in those places, because it's going to pay off here. It's going to really lead to something. So if things are feeling a little bit wobbly and unstable with that Tower card, just hold on, because you've got some really great things coming up in the future. So this week might feel a little bit like a jostle, but if you keep putting in that, you keep doing the thing that you need to do towards your dreams, it's going to lead to something. So just hang in there. Okay, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I hope that that's helpful. We are moving on now to Leo. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. What do my Leos need to know? Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Leo. There it is. All right, Leo. So Leo, your overall energy this week is the King of Wands. Now, the kings are a kind of culmination energy. They are the most powerful of the suit. So they represent the whole thing. With it being in the wands, this is about dreams, passions, the things that light you up, the things that you want to have occurring, the things that really make you excited. So you really do have this powerful manifestation energy in your wheelhouse this week, Leo. So tune into that. Tune into that. You can make anything happen this week. So you've got a bit of a lucky break here to really use that and jumpstart that into catalyzing you into a new direction. Now, with that Five of Pentacles, I think that what's going to happen is this energy that is this possibilities will help move you away from this feeling of maybe heartbreak or feeling as though you're at a really low place. So you're not necessarily, I mean, take it as it resonates for you and where you're at in your life. This could just mean some low point that you experienced at some point in the past. Something about this week is coming in to help you feel a sense of closure potentially to that period, that there could be some things coming in towards your passions, in your dreams. So maybe, that hope and inspiration that's represented by the stained glass window here, that hope and inspiration that never ended, even in your lowest moments, that brought you out of those low points. Something about this week is going to help remind you, hey, I made it through. And look at, here I am on the other side. Like, this is so incredible that I've made it to the other side of this. Finally, you have the Hierophant. So I almost feel as though with these together, it's almost, to me, it's feeling like there's some recognition too from the external world, that there's going to be recognition this week in some aspect from the external world to also remind you that, you know what, you finally made it out of this thing. So something's going to happen in the external this week that really reminds you, like, no, I'm not in a low place anymore. Or if you are in a low place, right, like I said, take this as it resonates as general reading. If you are in a low place, there will be things coming in on the external this week to help pull you out of it, to help remind you that you can make things happen, to reignite that spark of hope that is reminiscent in this card. This is the spiritual connection and the dark days, right? That spiritual connection pulling you out of the deepest depths. So you have that, whether or not you're going through this period right now, or whether you went through it at some point in the past, you're getting this opportunity to feel as though things can change and finally move forward, and you feel good about it. So Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I hope that that's helpful. I hope you have an excellent week ahead, and we are going to move on now to Virgo. So Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, what can my Virgos expect this week? Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And Kristen, Leo, Sun, Moon. Oh, cool. Both of them have been in a low place. Okay, working on getting out of it. This resonates. Great. Yeah. With that message there are things coming in this week to help remind you that you can get out of it, right? And that sometimes in that dark night of the soul moment, there is a real opportunity to connect in with the spirituality, and that this powerful spiritual connection that you can develop. Sometimes it's really hard to even see that connection until you can go through those low points, and I don't know what it is, but there's something about that can create this connection towards the divine in a way that can be really powerful and help springboard you in the complete opposite direction of that. So good luck this week, definitely. We're moving on to Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What have you got this week coming to you? Virgo, really important for you to get rest this week with the Four of Swords. This is an important week for you to take some time to get enough sleep, get enough rest, make sure that you are taking some time out. And so if you feel compelled this week to take it a little bit light, I would say that's a really good idea. So don't try to push yourself too hard. If you have a lot of things you need to get done, try to see if either A, you can push the deadlines a little bit or move the timelines a little bit. And if you can't, try to make sure that you schedule in those breaks, schedule in that rest. Definitely take the time, because there's something about this week that is asking you to take some extra recovery. You have the Death card, which talks about some powerful endings and changes. Usually this talks about a transformation on the internal environment sometimes too. This is like a big change in perspective, a big ending in the way things exist, and a transformation into something new. This is a moment for you to really move in a new direction and tune into your own self as you change, right? And I think, yeah, okay, 10 of Wands, right, what I was talking about, that not taking on too many things. I think this week, a part of where this Death card is coming in is, it's like this is a week where I think you might end up in a breaking point potentially if you're not careful. So just be careful this week on not taking on too much and starting to let some of these burdens go, because the burdens are starting to be a little bit too overwhelming, I think, this week. And I think you're going to really notice that if you continue to try to do too many things this week. I don't think it's going to work out in a way that's helpful for you. It might end up in burnout or in a place where you don't want to end up. So just be careful of what you're doing and make sure you're getting enough rest. And then you also had the Five of Pentacles, which Leo had as well. So with that Five of Pentacles, this is it's the Dark Night of the Soul card. So it's interesting. I think maybe this might be one of the common themes for the group that I'll bring up at the end. But something to be known about this Dark Night of the Soul period, which we don't always all go through, but I think everybody hits a low point in life at some point. And sometimes these low points can be really overwhelming, and they can get us into these really low places. What's interesting about this card is this person is in that deeply low place, but something about that has connected them into the spiritual, and that it's actually become this catalyst towards creating this deeper connection to the non-physical world, towards spirituality, towards love, in the universal love that exists among all sentient beings. That sort of like loving kindness, interdependent, interconnectedness energy. Sometimes hitting those low points can help you connect to this in a deeper level that no one, even like you wouldn't understand. I'm just speaking from personal experience. I've been in this place, where it's almost like I think it's what happens is, like, we tend to have this thing as people where we don't want to see the problems of things, or we just don't want to face certain things, and so we turn a blind eye, and those things remain in the subconscious, and then things happen that we get lower and lower and lower and lower, right? And that after a certain point, you just sort of have to face certain things if you're going to keep going. And so that's part of what this Dark Night of the Soul is. It's like you have to face these things. But the thing is, once you finally start to face those things, it springboards this connection towards something so much bigger, because it's like you have this sort of awakening moment where you change your perspective, and you enter into something different, right? Your life changes. You have that transformation, right? That internal transformation that I said. So you might be going through something like that this week, or something about this week is reminding you of a period of your life where you did go through that. So just, if that's happening, just be with yourself, be gentle with yourself, give yourself enough rest, take as many breaks as you need to. It's very important. But I think as long as you do that, I think, I think you can have a good week, right? So just be gentle this week. So Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. That's it from me. I hope that you have an excellent week ahead, and we're going to move on now to Libra. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What does Libra need to know this week? Libra. Wow. Okay. Really powerful energy, right? Yeah. Okay. We get a lot of repeats usually in these weeklies, because these are Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. So eventually, everybody's got a little bit of everything, and they just end up being a big group reading at the end, I feel like, but that's okay. So, who we got? This was Libra. Libra, you got the Tower as well. I can't remember which group got the Tower too. I think Cancer maybe got the Tower. So Libra, there's big change happening. There's big change. I think there's big change happening for all of us. But this week, there's something going on in your external environment that's shifting things around. So there's movement happening for you this week. Usually this happens kind of outside of what you necessarily want. It's like the universe just moves your life in a certain direction, whether you want it or not. It's like, here it is, it's coming. So this week you kind of have that going on. Something's going to happen in your life where there's movement happening somewhere, right? It could be a small change or a big change, but there's something going on where there's a shift. So just, stick with that, right? Stick with yourself if that's going on. It's coming in the direction here, I think, of carrying too much. You have the overburden card too. So that one came out for a different pile too. So I think I think maybe you've been trying to do too much. And so this week, something's going to happen that makes you realize that you have to put one of those down, or, things aren't going to work anymore. Right. So this week might be a great time for you to do a mental inventory of all of the things that you're working on, all of the projects that you're doing, everything that's going on. all of your obligations, and see if there's anything you can let go of, because you might end up feeling a little bit more stable, a little bit more comfortable in your life this week if you let go of some of these burdens. Finally, we have the Hierophant. So and part of what some of these burdens are, they could be coming from the external world, from other people, and it could be sort of like a societal thing, right? There might be a lot of expectations that you're putting on yourself from that external perspective, and that might be a part of what this Tower moment is coming in, is sort of like to shake you out of feeling as though you have to meet these social obligations, which actually for Libra, that makes a lot of sense, because the Libra sign is very much I personally, I feel like Libra is one of the most social out of all of the signs, definitely connected with other people. And so sometimes there's um, that people pleasing behavior that, I mean, everybody does it, right? So, this week you really might be shaken to not try to meet everybody's needs ahead of your own this week, right? It just won't be possible. So really make sure that you're doing things because you want to do them, not because you want to make other people like you, right? So just be careful with that a little bit. But I do think with that Tower card, it's sort of like life is going to push you in that direction anyway, of like, okay, make sure you're doing these things for you, right? Because that's going to be really important here. Make sure you're doing what you need for yourself and not doing everything that everybody else wants first and then not having enough time for yourself. So just be careful with that. There's that message from the airplane, right, where you have to secure your own oxygen mask before you secure anybody else's. It's really important, because if you don't, you're going to pass out, and then you can't help anybody else, right? So make sure that you're helping yourself here. And I think that the universe is going to kind of push you in that direction anyway. So just roll with it. The more that you can be open to, surrender and being like, all right, okay, universe, you're pushing me in this direction. Let's do it, right? The more you can do that, the more you're going to feel more comfortable and feel like it's okay. So Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, that's my reading for you. We're going to move on now to Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. First, I'm just going to shuffle the deck a little bit. For everybody who's just joining, we're doing all of the zodiac signs for your Sun, Moon, and Rising signs for the week. After that, I will open up the floor to personal readings from me. Also, if you would like to enter in to win a free, in-depth, long personal reading, the kind I usually charge for, you are welcome to enter into a contest right now as a celebration of our 1,500 subscribers. If you look at the description section of this video, there's a link to my website, junodrome.com. You can go there and find a link to sign up. Go ahead and put your name on the list, and I'll be giving the winners in November for a free in-depth personal reading for me. Moving on now to Scorpio. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, there it is. Wow, you got a lot, Scorpio. Let's dive right in. So Scorpio, what's going on with you this week? Scorpio, you got the Magician. I think you got the Magician last week too. So that's cool. You're riding on this energy of creation, of manifestation, of moving the forces of the universe around in the ways that you can to create the life of your dreams, to create the things that you want, right? So this week, something about this week, Scorpio, is really like you doing you in a way where you can make things happen, where you can feel good about yourself, where you can create all that you need to create. There's real opportunity here to make things happen this week. So tap into that. What is it that you want? Do you know what you want? Set those intentions. If you set those intentions, you might start to see them come true soon, right? Now, personally, I don't necessarily believe in instantaneous manifestation. Like I wrote it on a piece of paper and boom, it happens, right? A little bit hard for that. But if you set those out into the universe, they do come back, right? So you can make things happen. You can move. Even if it's a little bit of a slow process, you can make it happen. Now, the 10 of Swords is coming in too. So be a little bit careful of burnout this week. Make sure you're not doing too much. Make sure you're not overextending your energy too much, because that's going to be really felt. And I think because especially with this powerful energy and this powerful manifestation, sometimes that can like deplete the energy if we're like in this higher plane of like pushing things in the mental sphere. That can lead to overexhaustion in the physical. So just be careful with that. Make sure you're getting enough sleep and enough rest as you do this kind of work. Is very important. You have the Four of Cups which is interesting. I think, as this magician card is kind of talking, I was talking about that instantaneous manifestation thing. I do think there's a little bit of a message here to be careful of your thoughts too, because you're such a powerful manifesting this week. Don't be focused on the things that aren't here, because that's just going to continue to perpetuate not here-ness, right? Instead, be open to the universe delivering things to you in strange and spontaneous ways that maybe you won't understand. So just be open to gifts coming to the universe in ways that aren't what you think, right? So try to relieve yourself of expectations as much as you can. And it's challenging, and that's a challenging thing, to have no expectations, but just as much as you can, don't be expecting things to happen in a particular way. Let things just occur, right? Let things come in as you do that manifestation work. They'll come in strange ways, in ways that you're not expecting, in different things and things that you would have never imagined. So don't be super set on things having to exist in a certain sense, in a certain way. Let things exist in an open-ended fashion this week. Finally, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So this is a real opportunity and a new beginning in the physical world. So that manifestation is really powerful in your physical environment. You are moving things around. You are setting yourself up in a new way where you can make things happen, where you can create things and start to have this like beautiful, powerful, stable, spontaneous energy. This could be, money starting to come in a certain area too. So Scorpio, it looks like you got a great week ahead, Scorpio. So good for you. We're going to move on. Next up, we've got Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. What can my Sagittarius expect this week? Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. Okay. Yep. Oh, definitely repeat energy. It always happens, which is fine. Sagittarius, you have the Seven of Pentacles, first of all. So Sagittarius, I think you've been putting in a lot of work in a lot of areas lately, and you're almost at the harvest season. You're starting to see how the fruit will come in, right? You can see it on the vine. It's almost ready to pick, but it's not quite. Like if you picked this fruit now, it wouldn't taste good. It wouldn't be right. So be a little bit careful, I think, this week of jumping the gun and doing things a little bit too early, right? Have the faith that it's going to work out in the right timing, in the divine timing that's right. That can be tricky to do, right? Waiting is never easy, especially when you want something to happen right away. But you are being encouraged to be a little bit patient this week. Know that the work that you've been putting in is leading somewhere, and it will end in a positive place and a positive return for you. So just keep with it, stick with it, and it's going to happen. I think with that too, have faith that things are going to happen, and know that you don't have to push so hard. With this rest card, it's kind of encouraging you to maybe even let this be a light week. Meet your obligations, whatever you need to meet, but maybe don't go above and beyond this week. Just do the bare minimum. Get what you need to get done and give yourself space to process and to rest and to recoup. Because with that harvest card almost here, the harvest almost here, the thing about gardening, you have to give it time. You have to let it wait. And at a certain point, like, you can overwater a garden, right? And you can neglect a garden by giving it too much attention. So there's a little bit of saying like, okay, you set that intention. You just got to have faith that it's coming. Take a deep breath, take a step back this week. And maybe this is just a nice light week, easy week. Make it easy. Give yourself enough breaks, give yourself enough rest. Take your time with things this week, Sagittarius. And I think that you'll feel really good at the end of the week by doing that and recouping your energy to be placed somewhere else in the future. With this Ace of Swords now too, I think it's a new thought process too. So this might be not in your wheelhouse. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you might be really used to pushing things and making things happen and getting out there and doing and going. But I think you're being encouraged to think of it a little bit differently, and have this new perspective of saying, actually, if I rest when I need it, and I know that I need it, and have the faith that it's going to come, it's still going to come, and I can feel good about that, and I don't have to push too hard. So Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, that's my reading for you. I hope that it's helpful, and I hope you have an excellent week. We're going to move on now to Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What do our Capricorns need to know this week? Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, Capricorn, you have the Five of Wands. Okay, so Capricorn, you might be feeling a little bit stuck this week. And this card could be internal or external. So something's going on this week where it's almost like you've been pushing in certain directions, trying to move in certain directions, and there's a stalemate energy here this week. So, so embrace that. You know, sometimes we don't have the ability to move forward, and that's okay, right? Sometimes that means that there's a reason for that. Sometimes that means we need to take a pause. We need to take a step back. So this week for you, Capricorn, might be a little bit of a pause to get out of a stuck energy. So what's going to help you get unstuck? First of all, you've got the Knight of Swords. So the movement in the mind, in the mental sphere, clear-headed analytical thinking is going to be really, really helpful for you this week. So not necessarily pushing in the emotions this week, tapping into your mind, to your mental body, to your own clear-headed analytical thinking. That is going to help you think your way out of this, right? Because this could very well be an internal stuckness of the energy. And so it's going to take you changing your perspective a little bit, being clear-headed and analytical with what's going on with your situation, just with a very clear-headed saying, okay, nope, this is everything that's going on, and I can change it if I need to. I can move things here, right? I'm not going to pretend like nothing is really happening. Maybe things are different than what you think, right? It could be something completely different than what you're actually thinking. And so this is a good week for you to clearly think about everything in order to move out of that. Because by the end of the week, though, you know, you really get out of that stuck energy and you're in this Two of Wands, which is like journeying off into the sunset and starting to move forward again. So I think by the end of the week, if you let yourself have a very clear-headed thinking through this and let yourself think through everything, I think by the other end of it, you're really going to be open to a clear movement forward. And by next week, I think you'll be out of whatever this stuck energy is. So just embrace the stuck, you know, be in a pause if you're in a pause. And sometimes we just need to be paused, and then we can move forward after that when things change, when our mind changes, when we're in a new place. So we're going to move on now. We're doing the zodiac readings right now. Kristen from the chat is saying her sister's a Sagittarius and got into a relationship with a Capricorn. Ah, nice. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, okay, so we're going to move on now to Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And for everybody just joining us, welcome. We're doing the zodiac readings first, and then we're opening up the floor to, we'll do a quick collective reading, and then I'll open up the floor to any kind of quick personal readings, just a one-card personal quick reading. If you want a more in-depth personal reading from me, though, I do offer them on my website. I'm not quite selling them yet. I will be soon, but in order to celebrate a recent new 1,500 subscribers, there is a giveaway for a free in-depth personal reading on my website. You can find the link in the description or go to junodrome.com. From there, you can sign up for the drawing. 2 people will be winning a free in-depth personal reading from me as a thanks. So go ahead and do that now if you want to. And we're moving on to Aquarius. So Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you got a new beginning here. It is a bright new day with the Fool. Excellent time for newness, for changing things, for being in a new place, for allowing new things to come into life. It's great. So this is sometimes it can be not necessarily a childlike perspective, but naive is the wrong word. I think it's not naive in a bad way. It's sort of like before you let life make you jaded, right? This is like clearing this sort of jaded perspective. I think this week is really you clearing out any of those things keeping you thinking that nothing is working and that things can't work for you, right? You got the heartbreak card here. So I think you're kind of moving out of that energy this week, Aquarius. Something about this week is really allowing you to think about things freshly, from a brand new place, a brand new beginning. This is a new beginning and a new opportunity, and anything is possible for you. So you don't have to let anything from the past color this. This is a new opportunity, and you have many options too. With this Seven of Cups, it can talk about a lot of things, but I think in this reading, it's saying that you have many things ahead of you. You have many days ahead of you. There's many opportunities ahead of you. So this week, I think you're going to be really given this perspective of new opportunity and newness, and it's really wonderful. And what's kind of cool too, because this is Aquarius, I'm just thinking Pluto's going to be moving into Aquarius permanently. Not this week, not for a minute, not until next month. But Pluto just moved out of retrograde and back forward again in Capricorn, and is just going to be moving out of Capricorn now for the next. I mean, it won't be in Capricorn again for the next like 200 and some odd years or whatever, 300 years. So, but we're about to move into Aquarius. So Pluto in Aquarius is going to be pretty intense. But for you, Aquarius, I think, we're moving into that period for you where things are going to be really well aligned for you coming up in the next few months. So because of that, I think that there's a little bit of this energy coming in here. I'm just channeling this intuitively. I don't know. Where you're starting to see that there are opportunities, and the challenges that you might have been met in this period, because I think it was a particularly challenging period for Aquarius. You're going to be kind of coming out of that and into like a bright new opportunity position. So this week is kind of like the precursor to that. It's like opening you up to that a little bit, and opening that energy up to you, of this beautiful possibilities and infinite possibilities starting for you, a brand new beginning. So anyway, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I hope that's helpful. I hope you have an excellent week, and we're going to move on to Pisces. So last zodiac reading, we got Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. What do my Pisces need to know? Pisces, ooh. You got some interesting energy here. You got the Two of Swords, which can be stuck energy, but I think you're coming out of a period of feeling stuck. I do feel that because of these other two cards. I think you're finally coming out of this feeling of stuck, feeling as though things aren't working, feeling as though things can't work for you. You're moving out of that, and you're moving into this beautiful, creative, intuitive new beginning here. With the Empress, it's like you're birthing something new into the world. It can be talking about like creative projects and creativity, but it can be actual birth. So some people here might be expecting, right? It's a very particular group of people, though. It's definitely not everybody. But for most people, though, this is about birthing something new creatively into the world. And Pisces is one of the most creative signs in the entire zodiac. So Pisces, this week is you really channeling your creativity and your own inner wisdom. With the High Priestess card here, she's the most intuitive of the entire deck, and Pisces is also a very intuitive sign. So this week, I think you're going to be feeling very aligned, because it feels, all of these cards feel so incredibly Pisces oriented. So this is like you being really aligned with yourself and in your wheelhouse, right? I think that this week, Pisces, you and Sun, Moon, and Rising, you're really in your own wheelhouse, and you're able to tackle things because of that. You're in your own power. So your power is one that's very creative and intuitive. So tune into that deep intuition and channel those things into life this week, because you have a lot of opportunity to make some powerful things happen should you choose to do so. So Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, that's my reading for you. We're going to dive in now to the collective reading. But as I'm doing that, if you who are watching, we've got 2 viewers right now. If you would like a personal reading from me, let me know in the comments right now if you want one. And give me a question too, if you want a question, or just say general reading. I would be happy to give you a quick one. Like I said before, I do little quick ones for free right now. If you want a more in-depth one with me, I do offer them. I'm technically not selling them right now, but if you email me, you can find my information on my website. Maybe we can work something out. So yeah, but if you want a quick one right now, let's do it. So if you want one, please let me know in the chat box. Let me know if you want one, just tell me. Otherwise, we're going to do the collective reading right now, and then we'll see what's going on. Hey, Spacecraft, welcome back. Okay. All right, spacecraft, we'll do you first. So after the collective reading, I'll do you. And then if anybody else wants one, go ahead and let me know in the chat. All right, so collective, what do we need to know? Some collective messages. The Tower came up a bunch. So, there could be some shifts going on. The Death card came out once too with one of the piles. So this week could be a week of changes for us in the collective. So we might be having some movement, some shifts, some stuff going on. So if anything's happening in your external world that's shifting you around, that's moving you to different places, just have faith that things are going to work out, and keep riding that wave, right? Stability will come. So don't worry about it. Let's see, some more collective messages. What do we need to know? We got the Magician. Oh, cool. Temperance card. Anything else? Yeah, all right. So with the Magician here, you can make anything happen that you need in your life at any time. And sometimes that's easier said than done, definitely. But I think collectively we have the power to shift things and change things in our world. And this week we're being encouraged to tap into that energy. So what can we do collectively to channel the collective power to change things in a positive direction? What can we do? And maybe that means just trying to think positively in a direction towards positive fulfillment. Like we can think about things in a positive way and try to move that into life. That's here for us this week. We can create things and do some really powerful stuff. Now, with the Temperance card too, I think a big part of that is realizing that sometimes the challenges that life throws us are actually gifts. And if we think of them in that perspective, it's not an easy perspective to have. So, don't feel bad if it's hard to do. But if you can start to think about what opportunities some of these challenges might be giving you, you can take those and transform those into something really incredible. So, just collectively, I think this week, we're being encouraged that any challenges that we're being given, we can harness the power of the Magician card to change and transform those things into actually really positive attributes in our life. So even the most difficult challenges can be turned into really wonderful, positive things if we do it. With the Seven of Wands, I think collectively we're coming out of a period of struggle and starting to come and gain the upper hand. Now, the struggle might be continuing this week, so just stay with it if it is. If you're still struggling, that's okay. Just know, though, you're gaining the upper hand and you're moving towards a place of really coming out of it, right? I think collectively we are coming onto the other side. And then finally, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is kind of talking about a give and a take. So, collectively this week, what areas in your life do you need help with? And ask for help. It'll be there, right? It's out there. So if you need help, ask for it. Alternatively, this is also a card that says if you are in the position to give help to others and you feel you can do so safely and in your own ability, this is a great week to lend a supporting hand to those in need in some aspect. So maybe you can be a helpful hand to somebody this week, and it might make everybody feel good, including yourself, right? So by helping others, it might help you feel good about yourself too. So open yourself up to that possibility this week because it looks like it's here for you too. So anyway, collective, that's the collective reading. We're going to dive straight into the personal readings now. If you want one, let me know in the comment section. We're going to do spacecraft first. But if anybody else would like a personal reading for me, let me know in the comments, and I would be happy to give you one. Okay, Kristen, cool. I'll get to you next. So we're going to do spacecraft first. Spacecraft, you want to know, you reached out to TCM Healer. I don't know exactly what that is, but we'll see. Is he going to respond favorably? Let's see, what kind of response you're going to get from this healer. Okay. Well, Four of Swords. So this is the rest card, the rejuvenation. It can be about healing, but also sometimes it can be about waiting and patience. So you're waiting for a response for somebody. You might not get it right away with this card here. Just sleep on it, wait on it, be patient. It might take a minute or if you hear from it, it might take a while for things to really go into motion, to work out or whatever. So just be patient. I think you're being encouraged to do that. But and it's interesting. There's a bit of a choice energy here. So you'll have a choice moving forward with this on how to move forward. And I don't know exactly what it is. You've got the choice between with the Eight of Swords, which is sort of like being really stuck and blinded and not really seeing the path forward. So on the one hand, you got a choice between continuing on that or tapping into the emotional sphere and really feeling all of the emotions you need to feel. Now, the thing about this card, it's on the one hand, it's great because it's like really being able to feel happiness and positivity, but sometimes emotions are tricky, right? So I think it's sort of like maybe something about this healing is like putting you face to face with the option between not looking at the internal stuff and having to face those internal emotions or internal things that maybe you don't want to see, right? I'm just feeling like some shadow work stuff coming up with this. So if it is, I don't know what kind of healing that is, but if whatever this is you're talking about here, I think there's an opportunity to really kind of maybe clear out some internal blockages and stuff with this, which is really positive. Just know when you do that, especially if these are like mental blockages or spiritual blockages or something, sometimes they'll make things come up, right? As you're getting those things coming up that are challenging. So just stick with it and give yourself time and space and rest. And I think it could be really positive through that. So anyway, spacecraft, I hope that was helpful. And I hope you have an excellent week. Okay, let's see. Kristen wants to know, should I continue with a side job that promises much rewards, but still is draining my resources, or work on my own thing on my own time that feels more peaceful, but is more risky? Thank you so much. Okay, so Kristen, that's cool. I'll pull side job and what was the other one? Own thing. So we got side job, own thing. We'll see how it goes. So what happens with you continue the side job? Let's do one more card with that. Okay. Side job, own thing. Okay. Own thing. Own thing. Okay. So if you continue with the side job, you've got the 10 of Pentacles. So money, right? Side job stability, right? Is there. So that's good. It's definitely like an abundant thing, whatever that is. Now, whether or not you like it or not, that's another story. Ooh, King of Pentacles too. Whoa. So real wealth, real stability. So that side job is providing you a sense of stability and a sense of balance, in the material plane, in your physical world, helping you feel more stable in that. So, if that's something that's really important to you, staying with the side job means that more money, right? And that's not nothing, and that more stability. Now, if you do your own thing instead, you have the moon. Yep, which is exactly what you're saying. The moon is like not knowing what's going to happen. And there's a lot of unknowns around doing that own thing here. But I mean, the moon is also very peaceful, so you're right about the peaceful thing. But the thing about the moon, though, that's important is that when you're walking in the moonlight, yeah, you don't see the entire pathway forward, but you can see the next few steps ahead of you. Fine. Especially during a full moon, you can see a lot, right? So even though you can't see everything, that doesn't mean it's not worth taking here, right? As long as you take one step at a time, you can really make it happen. With you have the Three of Wands too. So this is like new opportunities. This is movement towards something with a lot of hopeful promise. Your ship's coming in. So there is real promise in doing your own thing, but there is a lot of unknowns around it too. Let me just see it. Maybe an ultimate outcome from doing your own thing is the Six of Wands, which is victory. So you have victory here. So if you do your own thing, you can be pretty victorious in that. So it's up to you to decide. If you really need the money, that side job is going to continue to give that to you. So your own thing will always be there. It just depends on like when you want to start it. So just know that that's here. You know, the victory is here for you on your own thing. The moon card is your favorite card. Oh, great. So basically both. Yeah, I'm seeing both here, honestly. You know, maybe it's not a one or another thing. Maybe there's something maybe you can do a little bit of this while you're doing a little bit of that, right? Who knows? Okay, is there anybody else in the chat who would like a reading? I think it's just the two, and I think we might end it. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, this week. I hope you have an excellent week. Once again, just real quick, there is an opportunity to win a free in-depth reading from me. You can find that in the description section of this video. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristen. That's really nice of you. I really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I got a lot of readings on here. So yeah, anyway, everybody, there is an opportunity to win a free in-depth reading from me. You can find that on my website, junodrome.com, or click the link in the description section. I will be announcing the winners of the drawing on November 1st. And probably November 1st, I will also be launching the paid private readings as well again. So I'll have those up finally after it's been like 2 years since I've offered those. So we're going to be back in it. I'm excited. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. There's a lot of pick a card readings coming here in the future. So stay tuned for that. There'll be one dropping tomorrow. That's why I'm on a day earlier. I kind of like doing this on this day though. So I think this will be the time moving forward each week. Just because it gives me more time in the week for more other things. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I will see you in the next reading.